Hello and welcome back to another episode of Scriptcase by Jamie. And yes, you may have noticed that I look a little differently because I've moved the camera and I'm moved the video recording. So I've actually placed the recording now onto my 4K screen, and with that, well, we have more space to work with here. So I can really increase and really decrease the size. We can do comparisons side by side really nicely. Now, this is only at QHD, which is just over 2K. If you like the idea of a 4K, I'm quite happy to record at 4K. Let me know in the comments what you feel comfortable with, what your perfect dimensions are, and with that, of course, we can make adjustments. See what everyone prefers. Now, I can highly recommend 4K. If you work in 4K, then it's a different world. And if you work in 4K versus 4K, then it's another world again. So if you have the possibility of having two 4K screens side by side, then absolutely go for it. Okay, so within our project, now, I'm going to open up our project today, and you may see some differences to what you have seen so far because there is still one video left to go, and that is not until another week or two because we still have two more foundation videos to go. Now, with the project, well, I'm going to dive into it today, and really what I want to do then is add the new menu to our project menu. And I'm going to do that here in our project. So as you've seen, I've just opened that up. And if I run it, let's check it out. And as I just said, there may be a slight difference to what you have seen so far. Okay, so let me open it up. And it's the first time I'm using Firefox, so I do still need to adjust that and log back out. Now we have here all of our applications, as well as some of these views that are not looking so great, and that we still need to finish off. Now I want to move this menu into the new Scriptcase menu that has just been released. Okay, so far, the security experience wasn't so good, but of course take note, it may just be me. Yeah, it may just be me. 1 in a million, okay? And this is the thing about testing. We're all test bunnies because every system is different. And this is what I was trying to also explain in the previous video. And that is very important to highlight, okay? So for you, the update may work perfectly. For me, it didn't. So I'm just going to import the menu now, and then I may also show you one of the other new features that is in Scriptcase, and that is of course the grid comparison, because that is a pretty awesome feature. Okay, so I will now go ahead and come here to create a new application, and I'm going to choose the menu, and I will call it menu new because it is the new menu, yippee, and click create. Now in the new menu, I can come here to application, and there we have, let me zoom in. For those with a smaller screen, we have here the import menu. Now I can just click on this, and here I have then the menu available that I have in this current project. So I can just choose that and click import. Now that has, as you can see, imported the language variables, the font awesome icons that we are using, as well as then anything inside of the user menu, which there was no user menu, so of course nothing is imported. But any events I have, which I did have on application init and on load, are also imported. Okay, so everything works there beautifully, and it is a very nice menu. So now if I go ahead and run it, now we have our menu looking like so. Now what I want to do then is actually emulate some of the fields that we have. So I'm going to come here and insert a few more global variables. I'll leave them like that for now. And then we need to come here to our menu items and user toolbar, and just, double confirm we have user picture, user name, user login, user email, and user phone. So those are there in light gray. If you can't see them, then maybe you need to adjust your screen a little, but otherwise they're there in light gray. Okay, so now if I come here to my on application init, and here we have then our user login, we have then also the user email, use a picture if I had a picture there. But I'll just take those for now. And if I then enter in here my user login, say Jamie, my user email, then help at Scriptcase, get fingers, Scriptcase, and see that's what happens when I move the keyboard by jamie.com. Because yes, everything has been kind of slightly repositioned, and with that, right. Okay, so if I just go ahead and run that now, I will have those global variables available, and of course I can then use these. So I can just copy that or just enter them manually also here into the user menu. So here we have the username. I don't think I added, did I add the username? Yes, I did. User login. And here, let's go ahead now and run. Open again. I really need to solve that because that is a little annoying when it happens. And now I have here the name, and that is what I have there for my profile. Okay, so it's not displaying here my user login, but it is displaying my username. But do I have username? No, I don't. So then we, of course, need to add that one, and I will add the email in there as well. Okay, because yes, it helps if I add that also. And here I'll say Jamie Oates. Okay, and lowercase a. Run that again. No. And then we'll come back here to the menu items. We save that. And then here in the user menu, I can add that in here as well. User email, run, open manually. And now I have all of the details in here for the profile. Now that's really nice. And of course, I could add an image in there and attach that to, for sure, one of my tables. Now we will add that once we add the security into this project. So right now you see in the admin folder, we have not actually generated the security yet. Okay, so that is important to note. And for now, that is the new menu. Now in the new menu, we also have some further options now because we have here the description, which wasn't there previously, and define as shortcut. And now we only have font awesome icons. Okay, so if you had images in your previous menu, then those will not be imported. Okay, so in the user menu, I can now add here, say, the profile page that we will build for this application, and come here to item 2. This would then say be the change password. Okay, and then the final one here, well, let's just give it an extra logout for now. So I can just save that. And of course I can add or change here the font awesome icons. And that's actually quite nice now, actually, even just the functionality of this. And I was thinking that also when I was testing that, see, everything remains as you left it, which is really nice. And it's actually quite fluid to use, which, yes, as I was saying during the demonstration of this initially, this was very nice to work with during that test. And even now I have it. Wow, I'm liking it even more. Okay, so we have here our languages. I will leave those. Now we have available 2 themes, and because I had them in the previous menu, those are also available here. So I will leave those enabled, and actually if we check the menu here, we can actually see that in action here now. Now that actually works very nice, and that's really, really cool. So then we have here our profile and also our shortcuts. Now for the shortcuts, you may want to add some typical menu items. So depending on what they are, so I think here we can add then maybe one of the email applications that we want and so forth. So for that, I need to come here to the menu items. Okay, so to enable those, to add those in there, I need to come back here to the menu items, and then here I have the define a shortcut option. So I don't know if I actually added the email form in here. So in this case, I would have to add the email form in here to add that as a shortcut, which I'm not really a fan of, to be honest. Unless, of course, there is a new macro that I can maybe use to hide the menu item, but leave it as a shortcut. Or maybe we can have an option to check that here. That would be cool, but right now we don't. So I'm afraid that's going to be it then, isn't it? So that is then our menu with, of course, all of our applications, with here the bar, which, yeah, it will leave for now. And of course, all of then our email applications and settings. Now, we could go ahead and generate the security, but of course that didn't work. And I would have preferred that actually just to have all the variables placed in there and run through that. That would have been very nice. But otherwise, of course, we can adjust here the languages that we have available, which is very cool. And I will be adding those because we can't have these different languages in here and not the language keys. So I think what I'll do is actually in the background add these other application languages, add the languages in there also, and prepare that for our next stage. And of course, that should then be the conclusion of this project. But for now, it's where we are. Okay, so you may have noticed that some of the menu items here were not complete just now. They're actually missing the icons just now. I just went ahead and actually refreshed the menu, actually the application. So I just opened the application up and I was checking here that the columns and sorting options are grouped by, that I actually had them set because it was actually missing the icons here. And if that happens, of course, just open the application again, run the application, which is what I just did in the background, and then the icons here had appeared. So that's pretty cool already. So I'm actually really liking this new menu. I don't know about you guys. Let me know in the comments whether you're going to start using this straight away. I think it's going to be pretty awesome. So let me see here. So if I can search here, clients, here I can search active clients, company clients, inactive clients. So let's go active clients. And now I'm actually inside of the active clients. And like I said, here we don't have the icons displayed. Now if I come here and open here the clients grid, so active, if I just run that, we don't have the icon there right now. Let me open it as well and then run it from here. Let's see, now the icons are there. So you may just need to refresh that, and of course that may just be me or maybe not, who knows. Again, let me know in the comments, okay, because I have a very unique setup and I also have multiple versions of Scriptcase. Now I want to highlight also that this copy of Scriptcase that I have been using is actually here in my local machine. So I don't have it with the ports because it is actually a WAMP setup. Okay, so I have WAMP installed locally, and this is the Scriptcase I have installed with my WAMP setup. Now I have gone ahead and updated also my other version of Scriptcase, which is using the installer. So you have that with the port. Why don't we check that one out? All right, so of course, why don't we just go ahead and check that one out, because I have also updated that. So if I'll enter that here, now we have the 127.0.0.1, and then it's port 8092, which is then the default port. And you can see here, I actually have two samples, and I actually went ahead and updated this a few moments ago and made some edits in the video, and at the same time generated here the new samples. And I was hoping that the new 9.10 samples was already there, but it's not yet. It will be coming for sure in the next day or two. So just a little patience there, and then you'll see all of the new features in exemplary applications, which is, of course, where you're going to learn from, right? Okay, let's go ahead then. And well, why don't I create a new project here? And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go through the security again, because I haven't actually generated it in here. I only did that in the WAMP version. So maybe I was a little hasty posting the previous video, who knows. So if I come into the sample database again, next, English, next, and I'll just go create again. And okay, so we have our new applications. I'm not going to bother with that because I don't have to add applications now. I'm just going to go ahead and generate the security. Now, again, I have an error message. Okay, that can happen. I won't worry too much about that right now. Okay, I'll use group. Let's go connection, create tables, sec, delete tables if they exist. Let's go next. And I have the same error. Okay. I'm really curious now because I have one more copy of Scriptcase I can use. So let's go ahead and log into that one, shall I? So this version of Scriptcase is installed on my Windows 2022 server. And hopefully it loads because it's been a little sluggy lately for some reason. Hopefully here we may even have a different result. So let me log in. Oops, and I don't have my password. So I need to load up my password manager. And if you don't have a password manager, you should really get one, okay? And I can highly recommend Sticky Password, okay? I can definitely recommend those. It doesn't matter if you're using Windows, Mac, any of those, they all work. It works in your browsers as well. But today, so yes, I need to update again in this environment. I have not updated this version of Scriptcase yet. So I'm just going to run through that really quickly. And well, then we can actually continue on and see if that security will generate. Because honestly, that has got me really curious now. I would like to see it working. And for sure, it will be working probably by the end of today with the next update. So I'm not too concerned about that, and you shouldn't be too concerned about it either, because that is, like I'm always saying, one of the great things about Scriptcase. Okay, they do maybe, you have the odd bug or something, but they're pretty much solved pretty quickly. And if you think otherwise, let me know in the comments, because I'm curious to hear from you. That would be good. That would be good to know. And of course, I'm sure Scriptcase is watching. And if not, well, that's down to them. Okay, so come on. Okay, so that took a little while. Download and install updates. But like I said, the server has been a little sluggish. Actually, ever since I changed the network adapter around. And I need to maybe have the time to solve that at some point. But okay. It's like waiting for candy in a candy store. Now, the update was not as slow as this on any of the local versions. This is entirely the server. So, yeah, it's just having issues with the network adapter. I need to solve that. But in general, we'll get there. Okay, and we are updated, and we need to then log back in again. So we'll log in, and we will then go through the same motions again. So I'm going to go ahead then and create a new project once this has opened up. Here we go. And I've now got this black bar in here. I have no idea why that is. And yes, it's very annoying because I can't see what those projects are. I have to hover over them. So I'm going to go ahead, create a new project and create another blank one. Go next. I'll just jump through these really quickly with the same settings as we had previously. Okay, so let's go ahead and generate a new security over on the Windows server. And I will highlight again that I have an error message. Let's see if it's the same. It's with an LDAP. I don't think that was the same error we had before, but that could well be. Okay, so let's go ahead and create a security module. I will choose the group. Create tables, delete tables if they exist. I will choose my connection, of course. Make sure you choose your connection. Go next. And it's looking promising. Look at that. So that is only an issue in my local version, but not over on the Windows server. So that was interesting. So maybe I should have gone ahead and tested that this morning first. But yes, I actually needed to use it on the versions I was using. But that's okay, never mind. Okay, so we have here our API settings. We need to add those. So it's forcing me to add those. That's a little annoying now. So, okay, if I just add those, smtp dot, in fact, no, let's not do that. Let's add an API. And I'll just use one of these that's here. Add new public SMTP sample. I'll just go like so. I need to fill in the fields. Come. Here we go. Password. There we go. I'll save that. And then I can come back here to security. And now click the refresh button. And I'll just add there the API demo one that I just added there. Come back here to login. Now, some of the new options we have here, first of all, the login mode. Okay, so we have login mode where we can choose the username or the email address, or even both, which is quite nice. See, this is funny now because now I feel like I want to actually do a video on, what I initially wanted to do. So that is pretty frustrating. So with both the locally installed version and the installed version on the WAMP setup on Windows 11, I'm having that issue, but not over on the Windows server. So anyway, I guess that's good for you to know for sure. And I guess I will maybe tomorrow then go ahead and create the video that I initially wanted to create on the new menu, as well as the security. Anyway, I'll just leave it as it is. I'm just going to generate it and go OK. And it's going to generate it then with all the default settings. And we can just quickly check that out. And of course, we can see how that goes. So we're creating. And remember, this server's pretty slow. I really do need to solve that because it has been pretty frustrating the last couple of days. Okay, so open the project. And now I have here all of the security applications. And I think the app add 2FA is new. I don't think we had those before, as well as the control. And otherwise, all the other applications are the same. But of course, the settings app will be slightly different now when you run it, that is. So if I go ahead and generate it, we can just very quickly have a look at the menu with those imported settings already. Now, of course, later on in our other project, we will need to add the user login and so forth. But those will be then taken from the security globals anyway, because those are the default globals. So if you have generated security before, and you're going to now change for the new version or import your menu, or however you're going to do that, because of course you may not want to update the security, may not care about the extra settings. I would more than likely advise to do it anyway. just so that then you have the latest bit of code that's been added in there. Okay, so if I run the menu now, we then have our menu. I'm an unauthorized user. So I need to log in. And there we have our default login page. And we have no language selection in this project. So if I just log in, we now have our security menu with all of our applications, including the new settings layout with all of these options that we have here now. Okay. And if you don't know what some of those are, I think maybe we can, leave a comment and I'll do a video on those as well. And then we have here the admin username and profile details already added in here. Now, if we go ahead and actually open up that menu, so if I open up here app menu and come here to the user toolbar, we have here the user picture already as a global image. Okay, so if your user has a photo or a phone number, then that will automatically now be added into the security. Now that's pretty cool. And remember, you can add also your user menu items here for the profile page, as well as then the change password page and so on. So that's really cool. And the more I use it, the more I really do like, or I would say love, but love is a bit of a strong word, right? I definitely like this menu so much more over the previous one. And I do hope that Scriptcase continues with this sort of smoothness, should I say, of the functionality within this menu, because making some of these adjustments for these items and everything, I'm not having to save anything. It's all done automatically. It's pretty nice. And then just save when I'm done, just as a precaution. Okay, so I'm actually really liking this. I hope you do too. And of course, I think that will be it today, because I really need to get on with lunch as well as maybe some other work. So thanks for watching, and let me know what you think in the comments. I hope you liked it. And don't forget, if you are having the same problem as I am in the other video, hang fire, no stress. It will be solved in no time, for sure. And have a wonderful day. And weekend, by the way, because yes, it's weekend, isn't it? Until the next video.